Hey everyone, we just filmed our second episode of the So Far So Good podcast.
Number 2!
Woo! Finally! We are so excited for you guys to check it out. And don't forget to like and subscribe and tell us what you think afterwards.
Yep, looking forward to it.
Bye!
Bye!
Okay. Oh, I think we're live. Let's go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode dose of So Far So Good podcast.
We're laughing because, and we'll talk a little bit about this, but man, it's been a little bit of a delay between
Just
episode
a little.
1 and episode 2.
Almost like literally a year.
So,
but it's, our first episode took a little bit of time to just...
We had a few things going on. Let's be fair to ourselves.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were just sitting around not doing anything. We had a little bit of work going on, a little bit of life going on. And, like we say, the whole point of this podcast is celebrating life's little successes, right?
Yes.
So we're counting getting to episode 2 as
a success. Definitely.
Sure.
And we're finally recording, so we are excited about that.
So
but
you want to talk a little bit about
why it took so long?
yeah, and what we've been doing and
Yeah. So episode 1, you guys can watch it. We filmed it and we figured out that there were some difficulties figuring out how to do the video software. We tried so many different video softwares and editing and stuff like that, and we didn't really do our homework on them. So we were just kind of going with the flow and figuring out what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? And the cutting and the editing was difficult. So that's sort of why it took just months to do. One, because we don't live in the studio. We have our own personal lives.
imagine that.
So it just...
Yeah, I mean, to kind of be fair to ourselves, anybody who watches episode 1 is going to be like, well, you guys talked about how easy it was to make a podcast, and anybody can make a podcast, and it's easy. And I feel like we chose the most difficult path we could have possibly chosen to create a podcast. And let me explain what that means and why. So, technically a podcast is audio.
Yeah.
Right, audio. And we chose to do audio and video, which I think it's important for us because we felt like that's the direction we wanted to go.
Yeah.
But we also chose not just to do video, but to choose to do 5 camera video for our first podcast. So we have, just to remind everybody or anybody who hasn't seen episode 1, we have my camera.
We have my camera.
Jenna's camera. We have what we call our guest camera, which is over here in the middle that shows both of us. And then we have our Skycam.
Hey.
Everybody, and that kind of shows everybody. And you're going to be like, that's 4 cameras, Sean.
Yeah.
And the first one, we technically had 5 cameras, and we decided, we decided to simplify this.
Just a little bit.
When we went to 4. So what that means is when we go to edit, we're literally cutting camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, whatever. And it just makes it more complex. If it was just the guest camera and maybe the Skycam, or if it was just the guest camera, wouldn't be a lot of editing. Yeah. Because we would just edit the beginning, edit the end, add some YouTube transition cards on that kind of stuff. But we're doing this and we're doing it, making it overly complex, I think, because we want to learn every piece of it and share it with you all. So
yeah. So that's sort of why it took so long. But
do you have if you had one tip to give to people based on the learning experience of why it took so long, what would be your one tip?
Honestly, I would say do more research. I feel like I did research, but no. I mean, our research was looking at other people's podcasts and how their studio set up with their mics and their headphones and stuff, but not really video editing. And because I'm assuming that those podcasts have people that do that for them, but we're doing everything. So but
again, I mean, just so everybody knows, we do video editing.
Yeah. Yes, we do video editing.
I mean,
we were like, oh, this is gonna be easy, right? But not this complex.
Right. This is more to me, what I would consider to be almost like broadcasting
Yeah.
Because like if you think about the control room of a television show, and you have the person who's the producer who's like, camera 1, camera 2.
Yeah,
camera
like, are we
1.
ready?
Like, we're not doing that live.
Yeah.
But doing it in the editorial process, I think, took a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
So for me, I would say, like, do your research, because, yeah, like Sean said, in our first episode, we say, oh my gosh, anyone can do it. It's going to be, it's easy. You just got to put your mind, like, motivate, whatever. Yeah, there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, and I think my tip would be, if you're just starting doing this and you don't have a lot of technical background or anything like that, just keep it simple. Like,
and just do audio.
Do audio.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I
Or
love,
just do video.
I love video.
Same.
I think having audio and video is going to help from a reach perspective and an audience perspective. But maybe it's just do video.
And then just take the
export your
audio. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think keeping it simple is it, but we're not doing that.
But we're not simple people. We're not.
We're going to keep it complex, and like, we know that there were some challenges. So you talked a little bit about video editing software, and we hopped from software to software to software.
Yes.
I think we finally found our good combination. I think maybe we can talk about video editing software as its whole thing in the future.
We can get into that later.
But I think one of the other issues that we ran into was, and are still, I think we're still struggling and finding, is lighting.
Yeah. So once again, if you guys checked out our first episode, you'll see the lighting is, I mean, it looks weird because we have orange and we have tan and we have these lights that we got, and we were trying to make it like what we thought was needed. And so we changed it up a lot for this one.
So the challenge, one of the challenges, well, it's a pro and a con. We don't have any windows in our studio, none, which is great because we don't have to worry about cloudy sky, sunny sky, any of that stuff. Even though it looks like there's a beautiful forest over there behind Jenna. Yeah,
go out into the woods.
It's not real. So anyway, so we don't have windows, and so that's nice because then we control. We have more control over lighting, but we have these really bright fluorescent lights,
just like you would see in like an office building right above us,
and they're blazingly white, which means we get just washed out.
Yeah.
And so
and shine on our faces, which no one likes, and powder can't solve that.
Yeah, I mean, I tried. I put powder everywhere, but it didn't solve it. What do you call it? Pancake? Yeah, I pancaked it on. But here's the weird thing: is we thought let's try to blunt that white light by adding some color to those overhead lights, and so we added orange.
Yeah.
Which
you started off with orange.
I think with our naked eye, we're like, wow, that looks so much better. We look like we're tan.
Totally.
And then I think it turned out when we looked at the camera.
When we looked at the camera, okay, apparently the camera doesn't, you can't, it's different than what you see in real life. So I guess it does its own exposures and brightness and stuff, depending on what camera you have. But yeah, when we saw it, after we were like, yay, final episode done. Oh my God. We had to do so much editing on white balance and saturation within the video editor. So that's also why it took so long, because every single scene we had to edit the lighting and contrast to make it all look the same.
So if you think about Instagram filters, that's a lot of people think about Instagram filters and how you lay over, different filters to make a photograph look different. Jenna was doing that in our post, in our editorial software to basically try to correct the orangeness. Now, she did a great job, but
thank you.
It didn't. I mean, we don't want to have to do that every single time. So we want to correct the lighting from
the start,
natural perspective, right?
Yeah.
So this time, we took those orange light covers down. Yeah. And we
replaced it with
tan.
Like a tanner,
burlap color, kind of almost like a lighter tan. Khaki. There you go.
There we go.
So so we did that in order to try to help kind of soften the light a little bit and get rid of some of the shine. Yeah. I happen to have a big forehead, and shines quite a bit. So I think I feel like we blunted that pretty well. Yeah. So I'm looking at the screen up here just to see what it looks like. So.
Definitely. And another problem that we had solved, hopefully we'll hear this, at
We'll
the end.
find out,
Yeah, we'll
won't
find
we?
out, is audio. So quickly going back to our first episode, if you guys listen to it, I mean, not good.
horrible,
Not horrible,
but not-
but like you can hear the background noise. It's not good. I don't know. I didn't like it at all. And we didn't know I guess we didn't really, did we even test the audio?
We did. We tested the audio, but I think we didn't know what we were listening for
Yeah.
until we heard. So what we did was we did the whole audio. Oh man.
Okay, so
here's
here's a great example.
Yeah.
So before every shoot, we should try to make a checklist.
Yeah.
We have a water fountain, and you might be able to hear it. It goes off every once in a while. What does it do? Filter or something?
No, what it's doing is cooling the water, and the
Great.
compressor's going. And right now, if you all can hear, there
it
turned
just went off.
So there's a perfect.
Perfect example.
Kind of glad it happened
Yeah.
because that was a challenge. Is that obviously external noises
Yeah.
play a part. Well, we
Yeah.
have a little switch that we put
Usually.
on. Well, we have it. The question is, do we switch it?
Yeah.
We didn't this time.
And we didn't.
So we'll have to have a little checklist that says
Yeah.
do this, do this, do this, do this, and one of them will be flip the switch on the water fountain.
Yes, definitely. So those were our challenges, sort of, when we were doing the recap, watching that, and trying to set up for episode 2. And once again, I keep saying this, but if you guys listen to episode 1, we talk about, the future of the So Far So Good podcast, what you guys can expect and everything. Well, we changed it a little bit. So, Sean, do you want to dive into that?
Well, so real quick, before we do that, though, I think it is good for people to go back and listen and go back and look at number 1. I think sometimes our temptation is, it wasn't as good as we wanted. Let's delete it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think it helps us show progress, which is
Totally.
the whole
Yes.
point of this podcast is like progress in life, right? So we're just showing kind of what we're
The steps, yeah.
what we're doing, life's little steps. We're
Yeah.
doing. So then the question becomes, what are we going to do for the next steps for the So Far So Good podcast?
Yeah.
Obviously when we started this and we started planning, we had these massive plans. We were going to bring in all these guests and we were going to, and that is still the plan, but it's a little bit of a longer plan. So I think what we want to do is Jenna and I are going to take, we are committing, right?
Let's do this.
We're committing to
Yep.
getting one episode out a month, right? And if we happen to have some extra time and do some more, then we will.
Yeah.
And each time we're going to talk about some of our life's little successes. So we might talk about, Jenna and I have been talking about financial stuff recently quite a bit because
The market and everything like that happening.
Are we going into a recession? What do we do with our money? All that kind of stuff. So we might talk a little bit about that. And the cool thing is Jenna and I have very different perspectives. I'm way closer to retirement than she is.
Yep, I'm just like starting my retirement funds.
Yeah.
I'm learning what all that even means, and luckily I have Sean who has been there, done that.
And
so.
you have a financial advisor because
And I just got a
I'm
financial
not your financial advisor.
Yeah, I have this is just everything we say on this podcast obviously is from experience and opinions. So, take with that
what you will.
Yeah, what you will. So
But we're going to share some of our experiences, and we're going to start there. And then as we get more comfortable, as we get all of our little
situations
kinks,
like routinely figured out.
Yep. Then we're going to start inviting guests in. And it's really awesome because as we have talked to friends and family and our colleagues, and we're like, we're doing this podcast and we're going to bring in guests, and they're like, I'd love to I'd love to come and talk to you guys. So
okay, we're not there yet.
we're not quite yet. So but we're getting it. So I think the plan is we're going to stay with audio and video. We are not letting that go. Like we're definitely staying with it.
Posting the audio and video, which means audio going on podcasts where you guys can listen, and then video going on YouTube where you guys can watch.
Yeah. So we've set up accounts on all of the major podcasting channels. So you can go to sofarsogoodpodcast.com and you can see all of the links to Stitcher and to
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music.
Yep.
We've got it all.
So we will be uploading the audio files to those, and then we will be
We'll be embedding the YouTube videos as well.
on the site.
Yeah, on the site. So you guys can just go there and watch all of our latest podcasts.
Yep.
or listen to them.
So that's the plan. We're going to, obviously we're going to take this second video and we're going to watch number one and watch and listen to number one and watch number two and listen to number two and make comparisons and then make some adjustments as well. But I think we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to make sure that we got in touch with all 8 of our fans.
All of the fans out there. I know you all have been dying to figure out what we've been up to over this past year. But yeah, I think this episode was just to kind of tell you guys that we're still here and we're still alive and we're still trying to live our lives, but also want to update you guys and start the So Far So Good podcast, like the episodes finally.
So really quickly before, because we did talk about all of kind of life craziness getting in the way. I mean, and I don't know how much we talked about. I don't remember in the first episode, but so we have an agency life that we
both work in,
right. So we have clients, we have big events that we have helped them host. So we've been going and traveling and doing all kinds of different things. And I know it's not an excuse for, hey, it's been a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it hasn't.
I literally remember the first episode. I was like, my birthday is coming up. I'm turning 25. It's going to be my golden birthday. You guys, I've been 25 for a hot minute now. It's almost 2023. So
we're almost to 26.
I'm almost to 26.
Which means we're almost to episode 2.
Yeah, right?
So,
every year, one episode now.
So it's not like life's going to get less complex or less challenging, but I think that now that we've overcome some of the issues,
and I think that's why we waited so long, because when we finally got our our first episode edited and sent to the world, we were like, this is going to be so hard to do second episode. When should we do it? Should we delay it a little bit? But it was always because we traveling over the summer and client stuff. But I think that once we get the routine down, we're like, oh, so easy. We can do this this week. Yeah. Instead of pushing it off.
The other piece, and we talk about this a lot in our, graphic design, in our video design, in our website design, all of that kind of stuff is don't let perfection be the enemy of progress. Right.
Yes.
So this episode, not going to be perfect.
Yep.
I don't know that any episode is ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But we still just want to feel like we're making progress. As long as we're making progress, one foot in front of the other, then,
So far, so good.
I see what you did there.
That's our motto here.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty much it. We would love for you to like and subscribe. So make sure you hit that little subscribe button or hit that like button, depending on what channel you're in.
And if you are watching this, those fans out there, you can give us some feedback. If you are into podcasts or YouTube watching or anything, if you have any advice for us, please comment. And if you go on our website, there's a contact form. Go ahead and fill that out. Give us some tips. Yeah. We're always looking to improve.
And thanks for stopping by. We enjoy having people give us feedback and letting us know if there's any specific topics or questions that you have that we can answer. Just let us know.
Definitely. And stay tuned for episode 3 because we are going to be on top of it. All right.
Inside of a month.
We'll figure it out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Bye.
Have a great day.